Hey there guys, what's up? It's JP here. I'm back with the next part of my card review, and as you can see I'm getting really red. It's really hot in here. Today the weather is horrendous. So yeah, let's just get this over with real quickly here. We're gonna start off with the Shaman cards now. Primal Fusion, 1 mana. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. Is this card gonna be really good? My answer is no. I think it's a pretty terrible card. Both in arena and in constructed, because your totems never stick. So I think it's just going to be really, really poor. Though there are quite a few totem synergies with like cards like Tuskar to not this one, Tuskar Totemic. So maybe it sees some play, but I'm really on the fence with this. I think it's just going to be a really poor card. Next you have Stormcrack, 2 mana, deal 4 damage, overload 1. The comparison here is fairly simple. It's compared to Crackle, which is basically the same card, except this deals 4 damage and this deals 3 to 6. So I guess this is objectively better at smashing minions, and this is objective, and this is the only one that can smoke. So really curious to see which one of these is better in the wild format, right? Because I believe this card cycles out. Yes, it does cycle out, so you won't be seeing this here. So actually, in constructed, you'll probably see this quite a bit. So expect to see this both a lot in constructed and in arena, because I think this is a really top tier class card. Next, you have Fire Wreath Faceless, 4 mana, 7/7, overload 2. So this one, the comparison here would be with, I think people are inclined to compare it with Earth Elemental, which is a 5 mana 7/8 overload 3. So it looks like it costs 1 mana and overloads for 1 more, but it gives you a taunt and 1 health. Which I think this is not a really fair comparison. I think the one that you really want to compare it is the one that would be competing with it for this 4-drop spot, which is the Fire Guard Destroyer. Is this better than Fire Guard Destroyer? The answer is yes, because of the 7 health. Right? It doesn't get killed by Fireball immediately in one shot. It does get killed with Fireball plus just about anything else, but the fact that it can tank it makes it a lot better. And I think the Overload 2 is pretty much negligible, so this is a top tier card in the arena for sure. In constructed, that remains to be seen. I think it's good enough to see play though. Next, you have Evolve, transform your minions into a random minion that costs 1 more. So this is kind of like the Tavern Brawl thing. This card I think is actually pretty sick, right? Because even if you have like a bunch of totems, you're gonna always get a better upgrade, right? So if you have a full board, you're gonna upgrade it to like some really insane stats. And I believe the best jump will be from 6 to 7, if I'm not mistaken. So just to take note of that. This also can act as a pseudo heal, where you trade all your big minions into his big minions or small minions or whatever. They get damaged, and then you evolve and heal them up to full and upgrade them as well. It's a really powerful card. I think this will be a top tier pick in both arena and constructed. So you have Master of Evolution, against that evolve theme, where it just transforms a minion into an additional one which costs 1 more. This is the 4 mana 4/5 single target, but it's a minion, right? So this is in contention with Evolve. I believe you play both of these cards in mid range, but I could be wrong. Maybe you play one and not the other. But this one seems to be the stronger of the two, just because you need a board for the other one, where this one you only need 1 guy to target. And this synergizes really well with Tuskar Totemic here, which is this guy. Because at least on turn 3 you're going to get 2 bodies, so odds are you're going to be able to transform at least 1. So, and 4 mana 4/5 is a really good slot. So Shaman seems to be the new Paladin, where they have all the good cards up for. Insane card in both arena and constructed. Next we have Thing from Below, 6 mana 5/5 taunt. Cost 1 less for each totem you've summoned this game. So realistically, you're playing this as a 4 mana 5/5 taunt, which is just insane, because odds are you're going to have 2 totems throughout the game by turn 6, right? So realistically, in turn 6 you can drop this and it's going to be really powerful. Worst case is totem turn 2, turn 3, and then you play this on 4 on curve, which is also really powerful. So really powerful card. I expect to see this played in both constructed and arena, just because of how powerful it potentially can be. Insane card. Really like it, by the way. Next, you have the Eternal Sentinel. Battlecry, unlock your overloaded mana crystals. This is like the minion version of Lava Shock. The only upside is that this gives you a body, and this could probably smoke a little better in like a combo style deck. So it depends on which one you want. Generally, if you're going to be playing a mid-range style, I'm guessing this is just better, just because it helps you contest for the board, and then you can evolve it on a bit later on. The 3/2 body for 2 mana is obviously competitive, so I believe there's no reason to not run this unless you have no overload cards. But even then, would you ignore a card like this? It's gonna be like this helps you quite a bit with things like Totem Golem and like if Earth Elemental or the Fire Wreath guy becomes a thing, right? This is going to help you quite a bit. So I think this card is insane, and it'll probably see play in Constructed. In Arena, this is probably just the top pick because it's a 3/2, which is good, which is really good, and it helps you with your overloading problems later on if you draw it. Alright, next we have Hammer of Twilight, probably the most insane weapon I've seen so far. Probably even of all the expansions, just because it's a 5 mana 4/2, which costs 1 more than Death to buy it. But it has the Death Rattle to summon a 4/2 Elemental, which I think is really nuts. So apparently this is the Twilight Elemental. So that's insane, right? Because the problem with weapons, or rather, weapons generally tend to have no downside other than you're taking face damage, right? Because you hit it with your face. After you kill a minion the second time with this weapon, or this weapon gets killed, it's going to give you a 4/2 body, which is an insane tempo play. So in Arena, this might be the most broken card ever, in my opinion, just because of how powerful it can be. Again, the only weakness to this, I would say, is the 4 attack, which, like I mentioned, is probably is out of range of the sweet spot, like I mentioned. But the fact that you can do so much damage with this card is pretty insane, and it's going to be really, really powerful. So definitely a top tier card. Definitely expect to see it in Arena at the very least. In Constructed, we'll see how it goes, because it does have to compete with the pretty much always been in use Doom Hammer. So yeah. And lastly, we have the legendary. We have Helazil the Ascended, 5 mana for 6, pretty decent. Whenever your spells do damage, you saw that much after the hero. So this is going to be insane with board clears, obviously. Lightning Storm and Elemental Destruction. Elemental Destruction in particular, I think it's going to be insane, because the maximum you can do this without spell power is 5, and this is 6 health. So odds are, if you're playing a Swamish board, you're going to wipe out his whole board and heal for maximum. Back to 30, right? Which is probably an instant kill against an aggro or Swamish style deck. So this card is just really insane against aggro. In terms of hooks, in terms of control, I'm not really sure if this is really good. We'll see how it goes though. But personally, I think it's a really top tier card in Constructed. In Arena though, the body is pretty weak because premium stats is 5, 6 with the Pit Fighter. So it's just a little weaker than that, but and also there's the problem where you may have draft a lot of spells with this in Arena, so this card is slightly weaker in Arena, but it's still probably good enough that you consider picking this in Arena. So really powerful card, and I expect Shamans to be quite the force in the expansion. And yeah, it looks like we're done, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll be back really soon in the next part. This is JP signing out.